So today is going to be a more laid back style of video. I'm trying something new. It has been difficult for me to edit a lot of these videos, and it's probably because I have my own preferences of how I like to watch videos, and I like videos that are straight to the point, concise, deliver the message that I need, and don't include too much of a personal narrative like what I'm doing right now. So I will start a video and then add extra points that I then edit out because I don't feel like the audience would necessarily want that. This is going to be a longer form style of video. I am going to be talking about why weight loss is so challenging and hopefully deliver some insights that you may not have heard before. One of the challenges that I faced with weight loss was not fully understanding why I was overweight. So we look in the mirror, we see that we've gained a few extra pounds or many extra pounds, and it just sort of hits you one day. And that feeling is different for everyone. I said this before, but I think it's worth saying again. I am not obese and I am not drastically overweight, but I was about 30 to 32 pounds overweight. And the way that I define overweight is over the weight where I felt my absolute best, which was around 120 pounds. I stopped fitting into my clothes at around 140. This is a side note, I won't include this, but yes, I barely fit into any of my clothing. So at some point, we hit a wall and realize this has gone too far. But you don't really know how you got there in the first place. And I'm not talking about extra eating or even binge eating or not counting your calories or going away on a vacation and eating at the all-you-can-eat buffet for too long. I'm talking about when did this actually start? Like the very root of it. I've had a lot of time to think about this, and I came to the conclusion that for many of us, it comes from a very young age, and it can begin in the home. So depending on what diet your parents fed you, you are more likely to prefer the foods that your parents fed you growing up. You are also more likely to enjoy the foods that brought you joy and happy memories. So nostalgia is a very big form of comfort, especially when it comes to food. If you think about, at least here in the US, food is used as motivation, and it is also used as a reward, especially in schools. And in homes too, but especially in schools. So what does a team do when they win a game? They go out, they celebrate, they have pizza and ice cream. What happens when a child has a birthday party at school? Pizza, ice cream, cake, cupcakes, donuts, Dunkin' Donuts, the Munchkins, those are like super popular here. If the school hits their milestone for a fundraiser, what does the winning class get? An ice cream party, a pizza party. Now schools are getting a little fancier. Some are catering Chipotle or Chick-fil-A or things like that. It is very much used as a reward and as an incentive for motivation. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't think that does something to us mentally. It creates a form of a craving to satisfy the need for a reward. And if we have always used sugar and starch and foods high in fat and unhealthy carbohydrates, if that is what is used to reward and motivate us and give us instant gratification when we reach a milestone, then that is what's going to give us comfort. It starts off as a reward for something that we did. And because we are programmed to want sugar and fatty foods as a reward, then we do that to ourselves later on, even as adults. It's hard to realize that because you don't really have much control over what you're eating and how you're being rewarded as a child. And it's not to say that all of this is dark or anything. I think there is a balance, but the balance gets broken For example, if a child celebrates his birthday party at school and there are 10 other birthdays in that same week or in that same month, now that child is having cookies, cake, ice cream, and goodie bags filled with candy 10 times in that month. But if that child is also on a team that has been winning all of their games, then they're adding that on to it. And if that child's parents have been really busy and weren't able to cook all of their meals at home, and they have takeout, or they have McDonald's, or they have fast food a few times a week, microwavable pizzas, then you add that into the mix. And that creates a really unhealthy, unsustainable dynamic with food, our beliefs and our thoughts around food. And more importantly, I'm really big on habits and our habits around food. Going back to my point, the first thing on my list is understanding that we may not really know why we are overweight. At what point do you start to unlearn what you learned or what you were taught was okay and acceptable? It creates a really big challenge. And when the great majority of people received the same reward system and are maybe still operating on that reward system, which is sugar, salty foods, fatty foods, then it can become very isolating. And it's something that is just taboo to talk about, is just being fat and being overweight, not having control. But I don't think that we're doing very much to get to the root of that issue. And it starts, for many of us, like I said, as kids. So if you're struggling to lose weight, I would say what helped me was looking at my patterns, my eating patterns as a kid, and what I was doing at school, at home, how my family viewed fast food. Oftentimes it was a reward. You guys did great at your swim meet, so let's go get McDonald's or let's go get pizza. And I find myself still thinking that way. Oh, I'm gonna go reward myself and have a slice of pizza. Even if it's a slice of pizza, brick oven pizza at a really nice restaurant, the thought is still the same. Yay, I get pizza. And now there's a conflicting feeling, because as a kid, you don't have the awareness, like, this is bad, this is junk. You're not thinking like that. You're thinking, this is great, this is a reward, it tastes good, it feels good, and it means I did something good. Now as an adult, you have these foods and it still tastes good, it feels good, but now you did something bad. And I can go on and on and on about this point, but I would just say consider the reasons why you're overweight. Consider the programming behind it and be gentle with yourself, because it's not something that you're necessarily choosing to do because it's bad for you. You're choosing to do it because you have positive memories associated with these foods and these events, and they are deep and they're not easy to change. Be gentle with yourself when making these changes, because it is not an easy thing to change. That brings me to point number 2, not knowing how to lose weight. I think I just want to pause actually and say that I'm struggling with all of the things that run through my mind when I make a video like this. I'm not trying to come from a place of authority. I'm coming from a place of experience and all of the different experiences that have really helped me. And granted, I am overweight now. I'm restarting this. I think that for many of us who lose and gain and lose and gain throughout our lives, you learn something new as to what you did that caused you to gain weight, but also what caused you to lose weight. And I think that the important part is picking up the best knowledge and system that works for you that is also healthy and that is also sustainable. A quick side note, the reason I gained weight this time, after being at a healthy weight and discovering a whole lot about food and nutrition, an emotional shift can definitely trigger you into old patterns of eating, but also being on the wrong side of the why. So I talked about this in a previous video. I'll link it over here. Being externally driven for weight loss versus being internally driven for weight loss. That can shift. And that was news to me. I thought I had it all down. I was healthy, I was fit, I was strong. It took a pandemic and a strong emotional shift, lots of changes in my life to just swing me right back into those patterns. So I think one of the humbling experiences I had was learning that no matter how much knowledge you have and no matter what your achievements may be, you're still not immune to making mistakes and falling off track. But it's not all a loss, because the more you know about food, the more you know about your body, the more you know about what it takes, what habit patterns it takes, and what lifestyle choices it takes to lose weight and to make changes in your life, the stronger you are when you approach the same problem again. So having all this information doesn't make me immune to weight gain or to poor decisions, but it does make me stronger when deciding to make those changes again. So that's where I am now. I'm not rushing to lose weight. I am recognizing what put me in that position in the first place, and I'm really reflecting on how to approach this in a more sustainable way, not to try to achieve a certain body fat percentage necessarily or a certain number on the scale. I've gotten questions about how much weight I want to lose. I can only estimate how much weight because it really depends on how I feel. I think the ideal goal would be to fit into my clothing again. I liked the size that I was at and I felt good. A number on the scale can mean so many different things. I mean, what is your body composition? How much muscle versus how much fat? You can weigh 150 pounds and look very different from another person that weighs 150 pounds, even if you're the same height. So it really depends, and I don't have a straightforward answer for that. Not knowing how to lose weight is one of the biggest things that I had to tackle throughout the whole weight loss journey. This is a very different weight loss journey of a couple of months. I think it'll take me a couple of months to get to where I'd like to be. But the weight loss journey itself has been understanding weight loss, understanding all of the things that I'm talking about in this video. It's much deeper than calories in versus calories out. I mentioned in another video, really understanding the breakdown of the foods that you're eating, really understanding the nutritional value of those foods. There are programs out there that talk about your macros, and if it fits, then it's okay to eat, not really taking into account the nutritional value of the food. And while that's a great recipe for hitting the numbers that you want to hit, it's not necessarily going to be the fuel that your body is craving. So you achieve one goal, but you miss out on another. You achieve hitting the macro goal, but you miss out on hitting the nutritional goals. That was a lesson that I learned during my training process when I was bodybuilding, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm an official bodybuilder because I never competed, but I was building my body in the gym. I learned a lot throughout that process. So learning what contributes to weight loss, but also what contributes to weight loss in a healthy, sustainable way. Most people really want fast weight loss, and it's because, as I mentioned earlier in my video, when you look in the mirror and you hit that point and where you just say that's enough, like I'm done, I can't, it's alarming. And it's crazy. I would love if you would comment when that point was for you, if you're open to sharing, because it just creeps up on you so slowly. Like, you notice your pants are fitting a little tighter, you notice maybe you look a little bigger in one of your photos, and then suddenly you just wake up one morning and you're like, oh my goodness, what is this? What happened? When? And you have all these questions, and your immediate reaction is, I need to put a stop to this. And what happens is you go and you swing to the other side of the pendulum, which is not eating enough, over-exercising, a combination of the two, or maybe none of those, and just feeling guilty about it or feeling badly about it. How could this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? It's not fair. How come so-and-so can eat and not gain weight? All those feelings. For me, not knowing how to lose weight, having a vague idea of, okay, well, you eat less, you exercise more, and you just do that as hard as you can until you get back to the right weight. And then what's your plan after that? There was no plan. It's just in the moment, you want that so badly for yourself that you just focus on, what can I do right now to get the fastest results? How can I undo all of this quickly? Because it's a fast realization and you want a fast result. But fast things do not last. So how to create a system that is sustainable over time so that you're not on this roller coaster of ups and downs with weight. That is the most challenging part. And it's kind of cheap to just call it weight loss because there's so much more that goes into it. It's really reprogramming your mind. It's taking the time to learn about food, about nutrition, about your body. It's taking the time to make long-lasting changes and undo all those habit patterns that got you here in the first place. And there is no tip or trick that'll get you there and truly satisfy you, because it just doesn't happen fast like that. We didn't get here fast. Some of us faster than others. You can definitely put on a lot of weight in a year, but the factors are usually the same. If you put on a lot of weight in a year, something happened to shift you out of your norm to then put on excess pounds. Same thing for weight loss. That's for weight gain, but same thing for weight loss. An emotional shift, a breakup, a move, I don't know, grief. It can cause you to go one way or the other. It can affect your eating patterns. Understanding how to lose weight, but how to do it in a sustainable fashion is so important. And it's something that I will touch on more next month in July when I talk about the physical things. Point number 3, something that I didn't understand that was also a challenge, was not understanding that your body won't take kindly to the changes that you will make to lose weight at first. So when you make drastic changes, like eating less and exercising more, all too quickly, your body goes into a panic because that is its survival mechanism. And it's going to want to keep you at homeostasis. It's going to want to keep you where you are now. So gentle changes are the key. And that is point number 4. That doesn't match well with our society, which is very much rewarded by instant gratification. So as I mentioned 2 points ago, noticing that you've gained weight and then just wanting it to go away. How can I make this go away? How can I make this go away fast? It's a problem because it is very, very damaging, not only to your body physically, but emotionally. It is damaging to lose weight, put in all this work and effort, because one thing I won't take away from fast weight loss is the effort that it takes. It is so incredibly difficult to lose weight quickly because you are spending a great deal of mental effort in depriving yourself, in over exercising yourself. None of that is good or healthy. And your body knows it, but also you know it. And I knew it too when I did things to lose weight very quickly. The feeling that you get when you get that almost instant gratification with weight loss, fast weight loss, you're feeling emotionally gratified, but physically your body is fighting these changes really hard. And what happens then is that, of course, it's not sustainable, and either you keep going this way, you keep fighting, keep feeling like you're in a state of deprivation, you're overexercising your body, or doing one or a combination of the other, of both. When you gain the weight back, suddenly it's all those feelings again. They just come crashing down on you, and you feel like you've failed. You now had reached that point, but now you lost that, and you are now emotionally maybe in a worse place than you were to begin with. It doesn't really help you feel the empowerment that comes with slow and gentle changes over time. My phone died, so I'm having to restart this video on a different day. I left off talking about how gentle changes make you feel more empowered because you end up doing these for a longer period of time. If you're introducing small changes over time, it takes longer, obviously, to get to your goal. But the good part about that is that you're practicing these habits over a longer period of time. And because it takes a longer period of time, these habits become more ingrained in your approach, in your lifestyle, and overall the things that you do and how you approach your weight loss. My last and final point on why it is so challenging to lose weight has to do with your feelings and intentions around weight loss. And the reason why this matters so much is because a lot of times we come from the wrong place. We come from a place of feeling disgusted with how we look, or stressed over how we looked, insecure. We might even hate the way that we look. And any time that you approach a solution with really negative feelings, you're basically fighting with yourself rather than being in harmony with the changes. And while this may sound kind of mushy to some, and it certainly did to me, it was like, love your body and love yourself, and it sounds really nice, but how do you do that when you're not happy with where you are? And there isn't a short answer, but once you know and understand the problem and learn that, like I said in my earlier points, where it started, what kinds of things do you need to understand before you just dive into any diet? What knowledge do you actually need? What are the good things that you should be eating? What are the nutritional values of the foods that you currently have? What kinds of foods could you be choosing to have? If you don't like those foods, what can you do to enjoy them more? I didn't love broccoli when I was growing up, but I've learned to cook it in a way that I absolutely love it. It's actually one of my favorite vegetables, and it's not the Chinese kind. I love Chinese broccoli, but that's not the only kind of broccoli that I'll have. I've learned to cook in a way that is healthy and also very delicious. So knowledge is really important, and it doesn't just have to do with omitting things from your diet, from your life. It has to do with learning how to include those things in a way that complements your new goals and what you want for yourself. That's what is meant by love yourself, love your body. It's more than that. It's understand yourself, understand your body, understand why you want to make these choices, make sure that it's coming from an internal rather than an external source. Once you have all of this knowledge, you're going to be better equipped to make those gentle, gradual changes that I've been talking about so much. So your intention matters. If you're coming from a place of hatred and disgust with the way that you look, you're basically attacking parts of yourself. And that's not the way to make long-lasting changes. That's just you battling yourself. Starting with coming from an intention of good rather than an intention of negativity. Viewing yourself as someone who's worthy of making these changes. Once you understand that, weight loss is 100% possible. And I'm gonna end this video on this note because I think it's gone very, very long, but I just kind of wanted to speak more from the heart. It's not necessarily going to guarantee that you don't fall off and make mistakes, but the next time you make a mistake, you will have so much more awareness and you'll just build back a little stronger. It's just a learning process. There is no failure. It is 100% possible to change your body and to change your mindset and to make better choices for yourself. So I'll end on that point. So I'm out of breath. Oh my God. I don't think I look on camera as nervous as I am. I have to pause this. Okay. I caught my breath and I'm going to speak more slowly and more mindfully so that I can get through this video. If you made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. I will have my regular vlog going up later on in the week after the holidays, so probably Tuesday. I will see you all in the next one.